In this episode, I have a very special guest, and we're going to talk business. Hey everybody, this is Brian and Rachel Goulets.
Hi guys.
We are joining you, both of us, here together today. This is a little
Joining you both of us?
Joining you both of us, absolutely. Rachel will get to point out all of my grammatical flaws in today's episode. It's going to be very special. So basically the reason we're doing this is because every now and then there's like life stuff that happens and we're just not able to record our regular weekly Q&A. So we're recording kind of just this evergreen one.
Just in case.
So I have no idea what's happening this week. I don't know what's going on in the world.
We have no
because
idea
we don't know when this is actually going to be published.
So we're not going to talk about current events.
No. So we're just going to. So what we did is we combed through some old Q&A questions that came up for some stuff that we thought that would be good for the both of us to answer, and we've done that. So these are real Q&A questions that we have. I don't remember what time frame they come from, but it's basically all stuff from like the February-March time frame of 2017. So we'll just kind of really just get into it.
Let's do it.
Yeah. All right, so the first question we have, Rachel, is after having built such a formidable online presence over the past few years and becoming a pillar in the fountain pen community, their words, not mine, has the Goulet Pen Company considered venturing a bit further and attending pen shows regularly throughout the country?
It's a good question.
What has kept the company from attending in previous years?
We get that question all the time.
Yes.
Every year.
Yes.
So we started out the 2009 DC Pen Show. That's where Brian first had his epiphany about fountain pens. He went there for different reasons, but discovered the fountain pen community. And that's kind of really where we got our start. So we actually attended the show in 2010. So DC Pen Show is the biggest show in the world. And it's the closest one to us. My parents live really close to the show. So with our little babies at the time, our little baby.
Little baby. That was when we just had one kid.
One baby. Yeah, that's right. So that made it easier for us to do. As you guys know, we had kids around the time we started this business. So pretty much we've always had little kids. So that's been something challenging historically for us to manage, traveling, having babies, toddlers, that sort of thing.
Yeah.
Now both kids are, starting this fall, both will be in elementary school. So that may change a little bit for us.
A little more flexibility now on the family front. Yeah.
So we did the show in 2010. We didn't even have pens at the time. It was just ink and paper, and we had sealing wax. I remember doing like a live demonstration sealing wax, and I was like, I hope we don't set off smoke alarms or anything. It was so much work. You guys can go back on the blog and watch some of our videos.
We have a video of it, yeah, it's pretty good.
It was just the two of us at the time. My sister helped, and a college friend of Brian's helped us out. But it was so much work. I don't know if we broke even at the show. I don't know.
It's hard to say.
For the amount
if you factor our time, probably
and the
not.
travel, we had to shut down the website because we couldn't manage the inventory both for online as well as at the show. So it was the sort of thing where okay, that was a lot of work. We can't do this again for the foreseeable future, especially because then the next year, I was pregnant with another baby.
At the time, you were nursing, so it was like you had to manage all of that at the show, and it was just logistically, it was
super awkward. So over the last 7 years, our focus has been online. It's literally in our mission statement to provide fountain pen enthusiasts the most personal online shopping experience.
Yeah. I just said online. I emphasized it. Sorry, it's kind of like weird in your ear here.
I was like, am I saying something wrong? Online shopping experience. And that's really been who we are, and it has helped us, in that thing of that bullseye. That's our target. Staying true to who we are, not spreading ourselves too thin, not getting distracted. So focusing purely on online.
We don't want to be jack of all trades, master of none. I mean, even though we're focused on fountain pens, trying to do online like we do really well and travel around, it's just not for us. There's other people that do it, and I got mad respect.
Yeah, I was about to say, I have mad respect for the people who do the pen show circuit, especially the ones who do 10 or more shows a year, and who keep a physical store going or an online store going. I don't know how they do it.
I don't know how you do it.
We just haven't been at a life stage personally to even consider it. We've attended DC every year because it's there, and we've had the child care.
It's so meaningful to us too,
Well, it's where we started. It's where the epiphany happened. So every year we attend DC as guests, and we love getting to meet people. Honestly, when you're working behind a booth, you don't really get meaningful conversations. Maybe afterwards in the bar,
it's very transactional.
But then you're exhausted.
Yeah.
So we love just getting to go as guests and just getting to talk face to face as much time as we need to have the conversation. And getting to meet with our vendors, meet with customers, meet with just
Plus there's a lot of like pen friends that we have.
Exactly.
Like the Grays and the Andersons, and like there's a lot of people that even like competitors of ours, like we're all friendly. It's a very friendly community. So like a lot of our sales reps and stuff are there, and just so there's a lot of people even who are working other booths. So if we were working our own booth, we wouldn't get to walk around and see all these people that we really only get to see maybe once a year.
Well, and logistically, we have around 3,700 SKUs, so trying to decide what to bring to the show. And the amount of space it would take up, and then managing the inventory on both sides. We need people to transact. We're not normally open on the weekends, but even just the logistical thing of what to bring, how would we decide? So anyway, it's something we haven't really given a lot of thought to because we've been focused on online. Now, last year we did attend the Atlanta Pen Show for the first time.
That was a good show.
There were a lot of bloggers.
It exceeded my expectations.
Yeah. And it was nice to go to a different event. DC is huge. Atlanta was a bit smaller, and that was really nice.
Yeah.
We did a couple of video interviews, kind of made the most of our time there.
Yeah.
We've definitely talked about doing more. LA Pen Show is definitely on our list. But again,
we have several like manufacturer reps and stuff like that are out in the LA area, so we could combine it as to like a business trip and like get to see some people. Like
that's like
Twisby's out that way, and Yafa's out that way. He does like Monteverde and all that. So like we would get to then do some more business development kind of stuff in addition to just attending the show.
That's the first one on my list as far as venturing out. Again, with the young kids and arranging childcare and that sort of thing, it has been difficult. It is something, I've had health issues I've been working through as well. We are looking to the future as something we definitely like to do.
And really the main draw for that is just getting to see face to face, because that's probably the biggest drawback that we have by focusing solely online. We get to interact a lot with you all through video and online and social media.
You see our faces, we don't see yours.
Yeah, but there's something about meeting people face to face. I mean, you can read all kinds of studies about like most communication happens in person, body language and all that kind of stuff. But there's just an energy that you feel with people in person that is just different when you get to see it, and the enthusiasm that people have at these shows and stuff like that. It is just like, wow. And for us, we've been doing this for more than 7 years now, and it's hard always. Growing a business like this, running a business like this, it's a lot of work, and sometimes you feel drained. And as tiring as shows can be, getting to meet you all face to face, it's like, wow, this is really so cool. You get to see like how impacted people are by what we do, and it fuels us up and kind of keeps us going. So I know I personally, and Rachel's very much an introvert. Like she does not.
I get it.
She does not do a lot. Even like doing a video like this, like she does not do a lot of these. It takes a lot out of her. Me, I can talk for days, and I go to these shows and I'm like all amped up. So it's a little different. So it's more taxing on her.
DC was really difficult last year for me. We had just been through our miscarriage, maybe 2 months after that.
Yeah.
And it was awesome, like all this, like, because we shared that openly. So then all the support face to face. But I've also talked before, dealing with anxiety and trying to conquer that battle. It became super overwhelming. I think a lot of people in the pen community are introverts.
Oh yeah.
I think very few are extroverts, and I think a lot of people experience the same thing at pen shows. It's really cool to talk to people, but it can be very overwhelming, especially DC. It's so crowded, and it's like there's just people everywhere.
It was a lot more laid back in Atlanta, and I think most of the other shows are more like the Atlanta vibe. DC is really kind of the big one from what I understand, but again, we've only been to those two. But from what everybody we talk to that does a lot of the shows, they're usually a little more laid back.
So to summarize, we've been focused on online. We've had personal, family things that have kind of prevented us from traveling a lot. It's something we're looking to do in the future, but as a company having a booth, no plans.
Yep.
Next question.
All right. Do you want to read this one? We can pop
sure.
Yeah.
Do I read the person or just?
Yeah, I totally skipped the last one. Sorry. That last question was csfphotoedits on Instagram. So this question now is jeanmarior.
Mario R.
Marior on Instagram.
Do you ever plan? This is kind of in the same vein. Do you ever plan on opening a physical store, as in having like a local brick and mortar?
Oh, this is another question that comes up all the time.
Because I think for the last, hundreds or thousands of years, that's been what you do when you have a store. You have a physical store.
Fair enough.
We started in the internet age. We started in 2009. Really, the handmade pens 2007.
Yeah.
But we've only ever done online, and that's where we've built our business. So to go brick and mortar is a complete...
It's a divergence from anything we've ever done.
And I'm watching what's happening around and how many stores are closing. There are no pen stores in the Richmond area anymore. There was a Paradise Pen. They moved out a while ago. I think our
now the whole company folded. Like there are no Paradise Pens anymore.
Well, that's a whole.
They had 26 stores 2 years ago. But still, it's like indicative. Like we've seen June Pens close. We've seen Art Brown. We've seen Swisher. We've seen Paradise Pen. We've seen a lot of really kind of institutional brick and mortar stores that were around when we first got into the business have all been closing their doors. And it's not to say that everybody is doing that, but it's happening a whole lot more than people opening up stores.
It's more than the fountain pen community. You just look nationally at what's happening. Everything's going online. Not even online, everything's going mobile. That is where commerce is going. So we want to put ourselves in the future of commerce, not in, I guess the past per se.
Well, it's an interesting thing because
some people are successful with brick and mortars. It depends on your location, and that is the biggest thing. Is I don't feel that our location would support a brick and mortar.
We would definitely have some support. Like we do get people locally. We offer local pickups as an option, but it's not enough
to justify the cost. There are definitely increased costs. We have a lot of the same costs brick and mortars do. We have a team of 41 people. We have insurance for everybody. We have rent. We have office supplies. We have to buy furniture, like all the same things, except the only real difference is the amount of the rent. Yeah. Pretty much.
Because usually when you're dealing with retail frontage, it's a higher, because you have to be more of a premium location with higher traffic, more in the city, so the rent cost is going to be higher. That's about the only difference of expenses that we have. And then, staffing and stuff gets more complicated because your hours are usually greater. So you have to staff more people to cover the hours and weekends and all that kind of stuff.
The other thing too, what I've noticed for brick and mortars, and this is true of fountain pen retailers who've opened a brick and mortar after the fact as well as those who already had one, is when you are a pen store, you get a lot of people coming in who are looking for ballpoints and roller balls, not just fountain pens. Fountain pens are super niche, which is why online works so well for us. We've always said we're a local store based on your interest, not your geography. Yeah. So moving to a brick and mortar would put a lot of pressure to expand into ballpoints, roller balls, pencils, art supplies, whatever, things we just don't know as much about, aren't specialists in, and would be a distraction from our core of, again, who we are, going back to that mission statement. Yeah. Fountain pen enthusiasts, online, personal, it's no plans.
I'm gonna have you do all the Q&As, Rachel. You're great. You're just like, I'm used to just hearing myself talk. This is great. All right, next question that we have. This is from Sylvia Catalano on YouTube. What are Rachel Goulets' favorite pens?
So here's the ironic thing. We talked this morning about shooting this video, but it didn't occur to me to look in my purse. I left my daily carry pen case at home today.
Yes.
And that's the ironic part. It's my daily carry. I carry it always in my purse with me. And for whatever reason, I was clearing my purse.
The kids were being kids this morning.
I don't know. So I carry around a knock case with 3 pens. They're kind of my 3 go-tos. Now I do rotate them a little bit, but I always have a vanishing point. I always have my Namiki custom impressions. They don't make it anymore. It is gorgeous. I have the matching pencil.
The medley.
The medley is
the material.
The color I have. It's like a teal and a maroon. It's gorgeous. They don't make it anymore. It's been discontinued for a long time. But I was able to acquire that. So I have it in broad. It's the same nib as the Custom 74. And you know how he feels about the Custom 74.
It's very similar to Custom 74. It's basically a celluloid Custom 74.
Right. So I always have that in my rotation, always a vanishing point, again, in broad. And then I rotate between a 580 all in broad or my Faber-Castell Loom in broad.
Love the broads.
I do.
They're like one of the few.
I use good paper, and I love ink.
I use good paper too. I didn't know if you're insinuating anything.
No, I'm saying America in general has been going finer and finer, and we believe part of that is most people don't have access to quality paper. If you're using your pens at work, you're subject to whatever your work supplies, which granted, everyone's trying to save money, and paper quality for fountain pens is not the first thing on most businesses' minds, other than ours.
Maybe.
generally speaking.
Oh, yeah.
I'm making broad
Absolutely.
generalizations here.
Oh, that's a pretty good one.
So
yeah.
we have broad. Ha!
Ah, boom. I didn't even catch that.
So we've been seeing our broad sales, and I think you've talked about this in the past Q&A.
Oh, yeah.
Our broad sales have been declining and declining. I still love the broads. Like I just snagged myself, where is it?
What'd you get?
Aurora 88 Nebulosa in broad. I haven't inked it up yet, that's why it still has the tag on it.
Mm-hmm.
Literally just took it out of the pen case this morning. But I love broads. It's my thing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so those are my daily carries, my favorite pens.
Yeah.
I love the broads because I love the ink. And my handwriting looks the best when I'm writing with a broad or stub. Because when you're writing with an extra fine, like you see every little like shake or every little imperfection.
See, some people feel the other way. I hear
I think it
a lot
depends.
of feedback about people who feel that their handwriting looks better with a finer nib.
I think it depends on the size of your handwriting.
Yes.
If I have to write really small, yeah, broad's gonna be difficult.
Right.
Like I can't fill out certain forms with a broad or anything like that.
Yeah.
But if I'm just writing my normal handwriting, I feel that like you get to see more of the ink.
Yeah.
You get to see more shading, things like that.
Makes sense.
It's smoother, in my opinion.
Oh, generally speaking, yeah.
In my opinion, I find the broads much smoother.
It's easier to get a broader nib smooth than an extra finer fine. Yeah. No
Right.
question.
So I'm not going to go over everything, but I have 2 pen cases. This is upside down to y'all, I realize.
It is.
Another one of my favorites is the Pelikan M600 in broad. It's one of the smoothest pens out there.
And that's a good size for your hand too. Like that's the perfect size.
As of when we're
It's a
shooting
little
this
small for
video, we
me.
don't stock any. I have a
Right.
couple past like special editions in here I've acquired.
Mm-hmm.
I have
Can I
my
show these? Like I can zoom in a little bit and you can show them in a little more detail.
yeah. I mean,
flip it around.
yeah. I can,
Why
so
not?
that they're not upside down. Zoom, zoom, zoom.
You have to zoom in. You'll have to get it in the frame, but
There we go.
there you go.
So there's my Pelikan, and
Whoop.
are they?
Put it
They're
more
not in
in here.
focus.
There we go.
Okay. I'm not.
They're the
I'm
star,
not
not us.
experienced with all this. Pelikan M600s. I have my 580 alls. I do have a purple that's in my daily carry case at home, and a pink, which is also at home. So I think I have one of each. I didn't get the lava because it basically looks the same as the orange. Let's be honest. Yeah. I have 2 Aurora 88s. This one has a flex. This was a special thing I was able to get. Aurora Optima in broad. I have a couple past premieres. I actually have several more. So you all know, now I'm like super zoomed in.
Yeah.
You all know I'm the one who chooses the seasonal premiere colors. So sometimes what happens is I'll have maybe 2 different materials made up, and then I'll decide between them because until I see it in a pen, sometimes it looks different than expected. So I have a bunch of the, I'm not gonna say the duds or the rejects, but the runners up in my
Yes.
other pen case. I have an Omos with a flexible medium. My Vanishing Point collection, got that Twilight, love the Rodden. The pink was my first one. A couple other pilots in here. Got,
I can help you with that.
yeah. Got 2 Visconis here. Got some Lamis. I need to get the Pacific All-Star, and I'm definitely going to get the Petrol. I just haven't done that yet. Some other lower-end pilots. Got, oh boy. I got a hodgepodge down here. I have like a Franklin Christoph. We got like a Delta Fusion. I have a Mont Blanc in there, which is a pretty cool pen, but I have no idea how to clean it.
Yeah.
There's an M205, some Karas Customs, a bunch of other stuff. And then you can put that down.
Okay.
And then this is my secondary pen case. So these I don't use as much, but here's a couple premieres we didn't use, a bunch of random odds and ends, and then my rollerball and pencil collection over here. So now we need to like zoom out because I'm like,
Yes, indeed.
super close.
Aw, look at us.
So that was a very long answer to my favorite pens. So
It
to
sure
recap,
was.
580.
It's easy to do, isn't it? It just happens.
580
It's not just me. Okay, I feel validated.
Vanishing Point, 580 all. I do like the Loom, M600. My custom impressions.
Boom.
Those are my favorite pens.
That's the short answer. All right.
Well, you got a tour too.
Exactly. This is great. No, this is great. Probably slice that thing out.
I also realized I'm duplicating a little bit into the next question.
You are indeed, which is why I put it next. This question is from Jay Coltrane on 84 on Instagram. Which pens do you love so much that you own multiple of the same model? You just went through yours, but I have a bunch to show
yeah,
too.
to recap, the 580 all, I have a collection of every color. The premieres, because I've been collecting some of the either some of my favorites or ones that we haven't used. Sometimes we get back a return like months after we stopped carrying it, and then we're like, what do we do with this? I'll keep it.
Oh, well, just, look at that. I'll take that.
I think, and I do have a couple All-Stars as far as multiples.
Yeah.
I do like the All-Star. It's not my favorite. I write with a 4-fingered grip, so the triangular lamy grip isn't as ideal for me. I make it work. I'm not the only one.
No, you're not.
We should start a club.
The 4-fingered club?
No, that sounds really wrong.
No, there's a name for it. I forget what it is, but I actually looked up. There's a name for it.
Oh, and the M600 and the Vanishing Point. I do have multiple of the same model, and a lot of them have the same nib. So I just like it, and that way I can have different colors inked up. Yes. And I always match my inks to my pens.
And you like to ink all of your pens up.
Yes, and then I get help cleaning them.
From this guy.
I'm not very good at cleaning my pens.
You have cleaned a pen before, didn't you? Didn't you clean a pen for the first time like 6 months ago?
It was just a rough rinse.
She doesn't clean her pens. Anyway, why would you if you have somebody if you have me to clean them for you?
That's why you marry someone who's also into fountain pens. Win-win.
Boom. That's why my collection is as big as it is. Anyway,
let's move on about that.
No,
Brian,
we are going to talk about that.
Brian,
literally.
You have multiples of...
I do have multiples of a lot of things. Okay, so I have a bunch of different things. Some of them are the same as yours. I definitely have the premieres. I have all of the premieres.
He does.
Because basically what happens is my personal collection ends up being like kind of the Goulet history.
It's true.
Like the museum, partly because I'm a hoarder and I'm a pen enthusiast and I like to keep it all, but also because we end up referencing it a lot. We use it in videos, we use it in pictures.
How does this color compare to this?
Our customer care team will reference things. We keep a library of pens for customer care and media to use all the time, but if it's specific things that are just like one-of-a-kind things.
Exclusives we can't ever get again.
Yeah, they'll come to me and be like, Brian, somebody's asking about the Twisby Micarta. What the heck is that? And I'm like, well, I've got one. You know, and so I can do weird stuff like that.
I forgot about some of these.
Oh, I know. I tried to pull out some good ones.
Oh, man.
So the premieres, of course, I chose a whole bunch of ones that are not available anymore.
We both have a water lily.
We do.
And a Midnight Thunder.
We do. So anyway, so there's the premieres, which of course are exclusive, and we have a lot of them. I have a lot of the artist proof ones, which are engraved specially. Of course, I'm big into Lamy as well.
He does have a legit collection.
I do. I've tried to collect not everything that's like ever been available in the world, because there's a lot of like colors of pens that have a black clip or have something weird going on with it, a red clip or something that were only available in one region of the world. I don't get into that stuff. I just get the stuff that was kind of available globally. So I just chose my purple and my dark lilac and my orange here to show off. So I have those, but I have basically the full collection. With the exception of the original olive, I do not have that one.
The Savannah?
The Savannah. I'm missing that. So if you have a Savannah you're trying to get rid of, let me know, because I'm interested.
We will pay you.
Of course, All-Stars. I'm big into All-Stars. I do the same thing. I've tried to collect all of them, so I chose the coffee and the ruby red and then the mint green to show you there. So that's those. Silver green. Is that what it's called? No. Silver blue.
No.
That was mint green, wasn't it?
No.
Shoot, I forget the name.
Silver green.
Okay. Of course, I'm big into vanishing points as well.
Now, I have the pink one.
You have the pink. That's the one, since we started carrying the line, that's not in my personal collection. But now I'm taking one of every, the pen of the year kind of thing. So she's got the pink. But I've been collecting all of the other annual ones that they come out with. So I have one of each of those. It's always in a medium, so those are all medium. But I have a number of other vanishing points too that I collect in various nib sizes. When I get pens of the similar colors, I like to try to get different nib sizes.
I know what I like, and I
know what you like. Your collection is smaller, so you stick with what you know. I like to use a lot of different things because I get asked about all different kinds of things. So I want to get the diversity of experience. So that's what I go with.
But you don't carry these. Like, these are in your cabinet.
I'll pull ones out here and there, but like usually the limited stuff I don't use quite as much. I have a couple of Omos's here. I was getting into Omos's before the company went under, so I've got some Ojibas here. I have a ton of Noodler's pens. I have an entire drawer of Noodler's pens, plus another box of them that's not even in my drawer. But I just wanted to show these because I thought they were fun. These were the freebies that were coming in after they stopped doing the preppies. They came out with these before they came out with the Charlie pen. So it was a very transitional thing for only a couple of years. There are a variety of colors. I have all the colors. They were only available purchase of the ink. Of course, I have TWSBIs, a lot of different TWSBIs, but a couple that I wanted to show was the rose gold one, and then this is the ROC 100.
That's
so
before
they had,
the USA one.
Before the USA, so it's got the, what is it, the star on the top of it, you can't really see it, or the sun, is it a sun? It's a sun. But anyway, red, white, and blue, so this was to celebrate the Taiwanese anniversary. So there's that. I have a number of platinum 3776s, really a number of platinum pens in general, but 3776 is a lot of different colors.
Well, and the special editions.
And the special editions and stuff. This one's a special edition, and then this one was the Black Diamond.
No, that Gold Dust. Black Diamond's a normal regular
Oh,
edition.
sorry. Yes.
That's Gold Dust.
Yes, Stardust, I think is what we called it.
Yeah. Dang it, I'm wrong
We
too.
had one shipment of these pens, and it was very limited, and I kept one, so Stardust.
That's
and
right.
of course the Begonia, so got a bunch of those. And then I pulled out the Micarta. I only have one of these, but I have one, so I know that comes up a lot on the Pen Addict Slack. No Micarta for you. And then Viscontis, I have a number of different Viscontis, but usually I will try to hang on to ones that are like exclusives or special or limited edition kind of things that are kind of in our zone. So these were the Manhattan Wall Streets that we did. I kept one of each color for myself. These are non-numbered ones too. These were artist proofs.
Cool.
And then, yeah, that's pretty much it. So those are the ones, and I try to collect like a bunch of different models of them, but these are the ones that I'm collecting different colors. It's usually ones that are like coming out with special seasonal editions, limited things, stuff like that I end up collecting.
So we both have collections, but for very different reasons. Mine because I like it and I write with them and I stick to the same nib size. His for history.
History and diversity of experience.
Yeah.
Cool.
All right. The Film Darkroom on Instagram asks, being an online retailer, having a second site in the U.S. doesn't seem to make so much sense, but would you go through the issues of international trade, doubling stock, etc., to have an overseas one for quicker shipping, etc., for that region, i.e. in the U.K. or Europe?
We get asked this a lot.
We do. When you opening the UK branch or the Australian branch or the Russian branch or whatever. I mean,
which is kind of funny because we're not a physical store, so really.
But we have a physical warehouse, and
we do.
Your warehouse
it
determines how quickly you can get your products to your customers.
Yeah, speed and then cost of shipping, I think, is what it is, and just availability of products too. But I mean, we ship internationally to everywhere that USPS and FedEx ship to, which is a lot of places.
Right.
So
the answer to this is we're still trying to figure out how to have one business in the United States, to be honest. And honestly, even in the U.S., trying to keep track of the changing, not political landscape, but legislative
regulatory landscape.
Yeah, so keeping track of things like the internet sales tax or, different import tariffs or things like that. Obviously, like
a lot of conversation around these things.
Healthcare, obviously impacts us as an employer. So trying to keep track of like legally what we do in our state, in our county, in our country, I can't even
to keep up
imagine. And we also don't speak any other languages. I mean, I took 5 years of Spanish, but like, let's be honest, it never stuck. You are just hopeless when it comes to foreign languages.
I can't do foreign languages. My memory is not there.
I guess like UK, they speak English. I mean,
I mean, there's a lot of countries that speak English.
Anyway.
But culturally, it's a whole different thing. The regulations are different. The taxes are different. The
even the vendor,
import-export rules are all different.
Even the vendor relationships. So we're buying through a U.S. distributor. If we had a branch in UK, would we ship stuff from the U.S. to the UK? And how does that? What about where the UK distributor has domain? And how does that work with other UK retailers? So it's really like setting up an entire second business.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess you could theoretically have the same website, but then you need to do currency conversions, and there's VAT and all kinds of implications there. I can't even wrap my head around it because I'm still trying to get our one website as optimal as possible.
And practically speaking, it wouldn't necessarily change the type of stock that we have, the types of products. Because we offer everything now and we can ship it internationally.
Well, yes and no. By having a branch, say, in Europe, it might give us access to things that the U.S. distributor doesn't import in, but we could get from a European distributor. Or likewise in Asia, there's a lot of pilot products, for example, that aren't imported into the U.S. but are available in Japan.
Yeah.
But basically, like when you're really thinking about it, the taxes, the regulations, the culture, everything.
Yeah.
It's literally starting a second business, and then staffing, and there's different labor laws and all this.
Well, then
things.
And then what's the end goal? What's the benefit that's going to be happening?
A couple days faster shipping.
Maybe a little bit lower shipping costs, but the thing is, like,
honestly,
if we were
now that we have FedEx international shipping, most stuff gets there within 3 to 5 days. That's not much different than shipping across to California.
Yeah, and the truth is, by the time we went through setting up all that stuff, that's so much overhead. It would negate any savings in shipping costs or anything. We would have to raise prices.
True.
We would have to charge what all the UK retailers or everybody else charges, because it's because of all those regulations and stuff that things cost what they cost in different areas of the world.
It's like we're still trying to get like a grip on our current business, because we've talked about this.
I like that phrasing. We're still trying to get a grip on all this.
Think about it. When we started this business, over 7 years ago, our end goal was to both draw a paycheck. That was the goal.
Was the dream. That was the dream. We knew we'd made it.
And we could both work full time for this business.
And to do that by the time we had our second kid.
That was the goal. And here we are with 41 employees and an office and a warehouse and all these brands that we never thought we'd be able to get. It's required so much more out of us to manage. We've had to figure out how to be a CEO or a COO or whatever the heck my job title is. I don't know. Co-owner. I wear a lot of hats.
You would be one of those people that has a business card that has like 9 different designations after it.
Co-run the business, and I run the website, but I also do the finances, and I have a hand in marketing, and I used to do HR, and
you got a lot of fingers in the pie.
I do. Anywhere that's
the right
soft fingers in the pie.
Is that right? In the pie?
Hands in the pie?
Hands in the pie? In the pot?
No.
In the pot pie. You have a lot of fingers in the pot pie.
This is really derailing. Anywho, no, it's not on our radar at all. We're just trying to be the best company we can be now to, the team members we have now, how they're treated and the opportunities we give to them, and making sure we're financially healthy. I think we've mentioned before, I'll be honest, I haven't watched all your Q&As. There's a lot.
Oh, you don't watch almost any of them.
I watch some.
How could you? I mean, I don't watch them,
I watch them when they're controversial. I'm like, oh gosh, what did Brian say now?
Yeah, that's true.
But we have no debt as a company, and that's something that's really, really important to us. And to, talking about the brick and mortar, talking about opening a second location, that
would require additional
debt.
resources.
We're not in a position to just do that with excess cash. Right now we're in a healthy position. Mm-hmm. So it's I can't even wrap my head around it. We're just trying to be the best U.S. online retailer we can at this point.
There you go. But still service the world.
But still serve the world.
All right, last question for this Q&A, which, just thank you, Rachel. This has been a lot of fun. I hope we can do it more.
It's like the good old days.
Yeah. This is from JacobMM99 on Instagram. When you retire, would you ever think about bringing back some early Goulet Pen Co. pen making skills and craft them as a hobby?
Oh my gosh, we've talked about this so much. So, we used to run our business in our house. This was our old house. And Brian the way we started this business was making pens, just as, the context. Mm-hmm. As the business grew, we ended up kind of shutting down the workshop portion and then switching over to, the retail side like we do now. Yeah. We then moved our personal to another house 5 years ago. 5 years ago. And we lost the workshop in the process. We have a garage, but, with 2 kids, and I declared us for the car because,
I have a little workbench area,
right.
Where I can piddle around.
So we've been saying, one day, when we're in a position to do it, we'd love to build a workshop again. Right now, Brian doesn't even really have a place to do it, but it's been something.
Nor do I really have time to do it.
That's a whole
That's more the issue.
So we've been talking about it because he still has the passion for it.
Oh, yeah.
He's been wanting to do it. Here's my concern as wife/partner or whatever. The temptation to turn it back into a business, because that's what started the first time, and it's just in his DNA. I think he's not going to be able to help himself, and I do not want to start another business right now, nor do I want to take Goulet Pens in its existing form and try to reincorporate Brian's hobby into it if it doesn't make sense for the business as it stands today.
Yeah.
So I think the temptation is going to be really tough. Now, retirement's a whole nother thing. I have no idea when retirement's going to happen. We're in our
early
30s.
Yeah.
So we have a lot of time till that happens. I have no idea what e-commerce is going to look like in, 30 years. It could all be virtual and your head chip.
Yeah, well, computer chips in our brain, you'll be like,
I want that.
Ooh, the new Lamy Safari is out. Okay, it's shipped to my house, you know?
No, it appears in like holographic form, and then you like print it on your 3D something. I don't know.
Like Wonka Vision.
Yeah.
You just like have your TV and you'd reach in a TV, like there's gonna be TVs 30 years from now.
Anyway, we have
You pull
no
out
idea.
and you're like, ooh, the new Lamy Safari is here. And you'd have like a 3D printer attached to your watch. The Apple 3D printer watch would be, here's the Lamy Safari.
So we have no idea what commerce is going to look like in the future. So as far as what that hobby would turn into, how we would sell things, it's too early to even speculate. I think the danger right now is that his hobby would want to turn it into another business, and I know I want to safeguard against
I'm not
that.
going to say I would want to. I'm going to say it would happen. Like there would be no containing it, because that is just the way that I'm wired.
And it's tricky too, because we did it, and I don't want to say we failed, but
No, well,
we kind of did.
depends how you define failure. We failed forward.
We didn't make money. We actually lost
Is
money.
that really the point of a business, though?
A little bit.
Oh yeah.
A little bit.
Yeah, I guess you're right.
It's kind of a necessary part of continuing to run a business.
We learned from those pen making days, and it provided us the opportunity to discover what this company now is. So it was definitely not a mistake, but in the earliest days for the first 3 years of the business where we were making pens, it in and of itself was a business failure because it was never profitable.
I called it the sinking ship at one point.
Yes.
Like, why do we keep shoveling money into the sinking ship? Because we kept buying more tools and buying more wood and buying more, and it's like...
It wasn't we, it was me. Well, you got into materials pretty good.
I like picking materials. It was the foreshadowing of the Edison premieres.
Well, there you go.
Anyway, so to the question about retirement, probably... Let's be honest.
Well, I've got a passion for woodworking. There's no question about that. Wood turning specifically, from like kind of an artistic craftsmanship, creative kind of perspective. I don't have the time right now to indulge in that, but it's been on my mind. Like, man, we work a lot, as we are not able to keep up
And we want to spend time with our kids and have a personal life.
Well, we spend time with the kid. That basically is our personal time.
Church.
It's family stuff. Yeah. So like we're very involved in that, and we don't have really anything else. I have like amateur photography is like my one little sliver of something else.
Of pens.
Which I take pictures of pens, which again is like me taking my hobby and turning it into a business venture of sorts. So like, yeah, that's just the way that I'm wired. It's going to happen. But like, I know if I started to do like woodworking, wood turning kind of stuff, immediately I would be like, well, what do people want? How much could we sell for? Could this be a sustainable thing? Like, I could not just like buy a bunch of wood, make something on my own time, and just be like, oh, there it is.
I mean, like Brian,
I'm just gonna fill my house.
Too many pens.
And fill my house with bowls and vases.
Bowls.
That wouldn't happen.
Dish.
Because I'm wired to be like, what other people want? What could I create that people would want? That's what it's for. So that's immediately where I would go. So I'm tempering that right now.
So the question is, what do we think about it? Yeah.
Oh yeah.
But it's so far away. Who knows what things are going to look like by then.
Yeah.
Question of the week.
Yes. So because we are together doing this Q&A thing, we don't do a lot of them together, and that's okay. We're both very busy, and Rachel is also just, it's not as much your thing to do the video stuff like this. So it's just, the stars have to align for it to really work out for both of us to shoot together. But anyway, so since we are both together and we enjoy doing this, we'll probably do this again. What questions do you have specifically for the both of us so that we can kind of save, or just Rachel, so we can kind of save these questions for the next time that we do this, so I can kind of have them all in one Q&A. There's a selfish ulterior motive here, because I had to comb through like 12 Q&As to pull these questions out for today. But specifically, what do you have for us that you would like to know about our history or company or just preferences or whatever, to hear from both? So that's the question of the week. So I hope you enjoyed this. Rachel, thank you for doing this.
You're welcome.
Always a pleasure working with you. It's weird because we work together.
Why are you talking to me like that?
Well, we work together, but we're in different like worlds a lot of times, or we'll like have meetings together.
I'm in,
but there's a lot of
land, and he's in like
people and pens. And Rachel's like numbers and spreadsheets, and that's why it works, because we cover all bases. But no, it's like we have meetings together and we do stuff, but it's like normal like work stuff. But then like to get to work together like we did in the old days, like sitting next to each other, talking about stuff.
I still have my sofa.
It's
You
true.
can come sit anytime.
That's true. I know, but it's always like, oh, we got this thing we need to figure out. Ugh.
I'm there.
That's right. Her office is right next door, but yet, like, we see each other like maybe an hour a day or something like
During
that.
the workday.
During the workday, yeah. Because we're in meetings like
That's true.
all over the place. Anyway, hope you enjoyed this. You can check out a lot of the pens. Well, a lot of them we talked about are not available, but a lot of the other ones are at gouletpens.com. Be sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel. Leave us comments on blog or on YouTube. Thanks so much, and right on. Look at that, how coordinated that was. We didn't even plan that.